concerned about some vulgar verbiage, a couple of curse words, than you are worried about this shit. This fucking shit that's in your fat fucking face every day. The downfall of this republic. Right in front of your eyes. But he cases. Why is it necessary for... the fuck evaluate your fucking priorities. Fuck.
They're eating the dogs, the people that come in, they're eating the cats, they're eating the people that live there. And this is what's happening in our country, and it's a shame.
Version of yesterday's WATB is up on our channel. I don't think it's under the live tab anymore because we did have to take down the live video because Eric Zane's taint is not safe for work. Do you know what happened on WATB yesterday, Uzi?
No, I don't watch Christian Bladt projects. So
nobody does. I know. So Eric decided to, he says, thank you for the edit, Carl. You're welcome, Christian. Eric decided to get up, and Christian's like, oh, this is going to be funny. He turned his back to the camera, so he zoomed in on Eric Zane, and Eric Zane just dropped trow, and it went far down. Like, it wasn't just the whole asshole. It was parts below that as well. And I went, Jesus Christ, Cardiff just got his channel nuked, and this is what you're doing right now? Easy. Come on, man.
Well, that's pretty good, but at the same time, if your penis is that small that YouTube can't even detect it, yeah, probably would have kept it hidden.
I actually got a notification that I was showing too many vaginas on the show.
You're listening. Yeah, like all the time I'm listening.
WATB with Christian, Eric, and Carl sometimes.
Listen in your office, in your car, or even your neighborhood bar.
We're doing it. We're doing it. We're having fun. We're making it happen.
It's fun time. Open your mouth, close your eyes. We're going to give you a big surprise.
And here it is.
Yes, 2 weeks ago, my buddy EZ took a nap and slept through the show. Last week, he showed us his cock and balls. What will he do this week? I can't wait to find out. Welcome to Who Are These Broadcasters? I'm Christian Bladt, and he is the aforementioned Eric Zane. Hello, sir.
Yeah, hey, buddy. Hello to you. Thank you for having me back after that. I only wanted to show my ass, but you're right. It was bad. It was when you get old, everything is low, and it was a horrible display. I kind of apologize.
Well, you will probably take that back when I tell you that it has been scrubbed from the internet, but probably the person you most want to be interested in kind of wanting to see that, Lucy Tightbox said, "Oh, I'd like to see that." So,
I kind of have a thing for her, as you know.
I've heard, yes.
So that actually makes me very happy.
Yeah. Well, you could try to recreate it at the Magic Bag in Ferndale, but of course tickets are sold out, so people just need to already be planning to go. We've got so much to get to this week, Eric Zane, and I think to start, we should let you tell people how Super Chats work on this show.
Well, we'll always take your money, for God's sake. And seriously, if you want Christian to sign off with something really ridiculous, far out, absurd, as creative as you want to on the sign off, leave it with a dollar amount. The highest dollar amount with that sign off is how he will finish the show. So that's very, very important. And that's essentially it. Let's start it at $10.
That's right. Our goal for this week is $10. We'll let you know when we hit the goal. By the way, if we hit the goal. But,
right.
Our goal this week, $10. Let us know what you've got there. And we appreciate that. So thank you. We've already got plenty of people in the chat. And we appreciate those of you spending your time with us as we dive into local news.
WATB, who are these local news? Who are these local newscasters?
So it's been raining in North Carolina a lot. And if you live there, you know. If you don't live there, how much do you care? I actually don't know. I don't know the answer. Do you care if it's raining somewhere you don't live, Eric?
Of course not.
Yeah.
Why would I?
You barely care when it's somewhere you do live, but you have to plan accordingly. Well, a lot of coverage happens in these events. And after we show this video, I will shout out the reporter. I know her first name is Brittany. I don't know why we always get these sort of live shots, but God bless her. She sticks with it for a lot longer than we're about to look at.
So there's Brandy Campbell joining us from Carolina Beach. Brandy, oh my gosh. It is windy. It is rainy. Talk to me.
Yeah, guys, at this point, we're really getting some intense wind, but also the rain is just coming down really hard. One thing this area is known for is the flooding, and so we're seeing that flash flooding occur where we are in this parking lot. And so if we take a look across, just to give you an example, we're going to adjust and wipe off the lens right now.
We have...
Okay, so they need to wipe off the lens. And Brittany is there. And my first question to you, Eric, is why is she not just in the van while like an intern's there in the raincoat? Because we sure as hell don't see what's going on with her. You know, there is a figure standing there for our audio audience, but it's so blurry from the rain, and the rain's so loud. There's no reason this woman should be standing in that parking lot. Is there, Eric?
Maybe the intern is actually out there. Maybe this is her way of doing it. So she's the one actually wiping off the lens from the van. I mean, and besides, I don't understand why they would do it such a wide angle. It's not giving them any more perspective that they would have if they were close up. It's just silly the way they're executing this.
Yeah, no, I agree. And the reason why of the many clips that were out there from the rains in North Carolina, this is the one I went with because of the fact that it was so loud, the rain, you can't actually hear her.
Yeah.
And there they are rubbing off the camera again. And I don't know what this serves. Like the hurricane reporters who are always like, I don't know why I'm here. You know, the famous viral video from before we started doing this show, they sent the sports guy to cover snow in Iowa. And he's like, yeah, it's still cold. It's still snowing. I don't know why I'm still out here. I don't get it. But does anybody in our chat find this informative? These kind of clips?
I think a better question is, does anyone in the chat remember watching TV news on a regular basis? Because, I mean, honestly, it's kind of like becoming a dinosaur, isn't it? Isn't that happening? I mean, maybe not in like LA, New York, or real cities, but in little shitbox towns like where I live in, no one even watches the fucking news.
Well, I think the station that has the weather ball would probably.
You remembered.
Remember
the weather ball. Holy shit.
From like a year ago. I'm remembering now that I have to go check in on the weather ball. But yeah, I think that might be I think it's the opposite. The only place where people are watching are shitty little towns because it's the only way. Like you can't even find out on Twitter, hey, is my street flooded? You know, I was going to go park in that parking lot where Brittany and the intern were standing. So let me go see what's going on. I feel like it only works on the local level. And TV news might be a dinosaur, but not as much as radio. Now, radio, that's for suckers. We all know.
You're not kidding. You aren't kidding. It's so bad. It's so bad. Jesus Christ. Hey, by the way, side note, is there going to be a Shocktober with Carl this year? Is he doing or not?
Jocktober.
Jocktober.
Yeah. I think so. You know, on this show, we're going to do Rocktober, though. We're going to just play the hits. We're going to do Rocktober.
Or September. Don't forget September.
Yeah, I know. We're already halfway through September, and we haven't played Stairway to Heaven once. I have another clip from this event. This is what I call the Reluctant Samaritan.
The bridge is collapsing right here, and this truck Jeep just fell into the bridge right here, guys.
Oh.
Yep. This is live. This isn't freeze frame. He's
go get her.
Around.
Is there anybody in there, Aaron? If you have to go take care of that person, take care of that person. We will get back with you.
Oh.
All right, what you're looking at now.
You gotta come out the back. You gotta come out the back.
Yeah.
This is Aaron J.
You
Jack.
push the trunk open from inside the back, all right? I'm holding a camera.
The fact that he's helping her while doing selfie arm or helping in air quotes. My God.
Well, he only thought the idea of trying to open the door when they said, hey, is there anybody in there?
All right, what you're
You gotta
looking
come
at
out
now.
the back. You gotta come out the back.
This is Aaron J. Jack. He is live in Southport, North Carolina right now. This is the location where we had over a foot of rain. Aaron, we're going to let you, do you need to go and help that person? We can come back to you in a few minutes.
Okay, guys, I gotta help.
No.
Hey, guys, I gotta help.
Yeah, I've been trying to go. You guys keep just talking and blabbering. Fine, I'm gonna help this person. The video's not as fun because they come back 15 minutes later and the person has gotten out of the car and the car is still stuck like that. But this is the pain that I wanted to share. Sucks to be you stuck into a sinkhole on a bridge. Anyway, how's everything back in the studio? What were you gonna say, Easy?
As he's approaching the vehicle, all of a sudden you hear, never mind. Never mind. It's okay. I'll just stay in here.
Yeah. I don't want to be standing on a bridge with this guy. He's probably going to throw me off. Aaron J. Jack, who I guess is a storm chaser out there. I hope everybody's staying dry in North Carolina. Let's move on to the Windy City. There's nothing I enjoy more than on-air confusion the forced ad-libbing from people who just sit and read everything off of a screen, kind of like I'm doing right now. This is a story in 3 acts.
Car and 2 men approached.
I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that was.
So you hear that sound? They're doing their newscast in a studio.
I don't know what that was.
I'm sorry about that. Yeah, that was a loud noise. I'm not sure what that is.
And then they go back to the story, and after the story, they try to tidy up what that sound was.
You know that we now know it was a light that actually made that noise.
Yeah, it sounds like a light here in the studio, much louder here, but we're okay. And there goes another one. And we're going to make sure. Not sure what's going on here.
All right.
Let's call security if they can check out if something's going on here. Let's get other headlines.
Yeah, let's get back to some other headlines. But we might be
call security.
We might be murdered in a minute. I don't know what's going on.
Some got to change your goddamn light bulbs. What's security going to do? You stupid shit.
Well, I think that they start to realize that whoever in the control room told them, like, yeah, it was just a light, was lying to them. So they come back. I think this is a later newscast, and we have actual footage from what happened.
Thank you. And tonight, Chicago police are looking for a man who threw a rock, damaging the window of our State Street studio. Surveillance video shows what happened here. So take a look. You can see the man throw a rock at our window. He waits just a little bit and launches it again. He then simply walks away, heading north on State Street. Police are now reviewing this video. The glass to the studio was.
And we can see the glass to the studio. It got knocked the fuck out.
Okay,
he was good.
So definitely needed security.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that if the glass wasn't quite as sturdy, it could have been a little bit more dangerous. But I suppose that's probably why you have. I'm going to just assume that's bulletproof glass there. So that to hit the glass with a rock that hard, you'd almost think there should be somebody outside while they're broadcasting live to make sure that they don't, I don't know, throw rocks at the glass.
Yeah, that's probably a thought in the future, maybe going forward. But there's no staff at the TV station. It's just these two. These two do everything.
They have those robot cameras that they're controlling with joysticks, and they put in a ticket with the help desk, and security never did actually show up, but we are glad that no one was hurt except for that window, because it makes for a fun video when a window gets hurt, but no people do. So that's what's going on in the mean streets of Chicago. I believe one of the safest cities in America. I think I've heard recently. Forget where I heard that, but Eric, we talked a lot about porch pirates on this show in recent months, but it can be worse. It can actually be much, much worse.
Heard of porch pirates, but what about porch poopers? Don't know any other way to say it. Right now, LMPD is looking for a man who has been using the bathroom on Louisville homeowners' porch all week long.
Let me just point out that I know you're trying to have a euphemism for take a shit, but you're not using the bathroom if you're shitting on someone's porch. It's not using the bathroom. You say relieve themselves. Poop was fine. You can say poop. Even my kids get what that is. They would probably think this video is funny.
Four Joggers tracked down the homeowner and spoke with him about being targeted by a porch pooper. Listen, a warning. While we won't show you everything, we won't show you everything. Some may be grossed out by this video.
Almost as grossed out as we are by your hair.
It all started with this. Sunday night, a young man in a red shirt walks up to one Louisville home well after midnight and begins peering inside. The homeowners have no clue. After a few seconds, the man runs away in his socks and disappears into the night. But the next night, he returns and leaves a horrific surprise.
Tuesday morning, I went out to my front porch.
Oh,
and
no,
noticed
he's going full Zane.
Damn it.
The homeowner who wishes to remain anonymous, but who will refer to as Jim, then checked his doorbell camera.
Oh, no, he's definitely Zaning right there.
Oh, that's so awesome.
And it turned out to be
look at him. He's like,
and not
that's
only
good.
did he defecate, but he also urinated on our welcome mat.
So what do you think? That it wasn't enough that he took a shit on your front step, but he pissed on their welcome mat. It does say welcome. I mean, what am I supposed to do? You're inviting me to piss on your welcome mat.
He seemed to really enjoy it, knowing it's like he knew he was on camera.
Yeah, I think he knows.
What's even more disturbing is that the man returned a third time the very next night. Jim got an alert on his phone and tried to confront him, but the man was already gone.
You have no idea who this guy is or why he's doing this.
I have no idea. We're good neighbors. We, keep to ourselves. We behave ourselves, and I can't imagine that somebody would.
We have no idea who this guy is, but he's already a national
Jim has now
hero.
filed 3 police reports for each night his home has been targeted, but so far, no arrest. Just a big mess he's now forced to clean up.
I'm relieved that he's not.
I hate that what they show is the clean, after he's rinsed off the front step, Eric.
Yeah.
That's we see some stains, but I'm like, all right, let's have, if local news wanted to make some real money, they could do premium content. Show us on OnlyFans the turd that the guy left. What does Ryan say here in the chat?
Yeah, Ryan Harrelson says obviously you're supposed to come on the welcome mat. Okay.
Yeah. That seems to be what it's inviting. Look, he's asking for it, is I think what we're all saying here. And Dr. Anonymous, homeowners in a 12-step program to recover from his trauma, has to stay anonymous. Dr. Anonymous, I think, obviously can relate to that. Well, I pulled this clip, Eric, because it's been a little while since we've found somebody for you to just hate on the show. Apart from me, that's fine. But because that poop pirate, that guy's a hero, like we just established. But I don't think you're going to enjoy this guy's story.
Jogging juggler.
Is he in a circus?
Never seen nothing like that ever, and I run a lot, bro.
I juggle every day.
Yeah.
But I run and juggle probably 4 times a month, maybe 5 times a month.
Balancing the need to stay in shape.
Probably juggling nonstop.
With a newfound joy.
It was around COVID when I learned to juggle that it occurred to me I could combine the two, and running turned from something that was a little bit of a chore into something that was super fun, and I look forward to it every time. A set of juggling balls is like having a drum set in your pocket.
I believe we call that pocket pool. So, Easy, if you were out for a stroll and you saw the juggling jogger, would you engage? How would you interact with him?
No, I'd stay away, and I'd want him to get hurt. And hopefully he will, because this is ridiculous. No, he's not hurting anybody, but can you imagine if he did this in an act, like if he was doing this in Central Park, somebody would beat the shit out of him.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think that it just takes like one grandma to, wander onto the trail, or a kid running after a ball, and then he gets mixed up. I hope there's a tragic ending to this story one day. But do you hate this guy as much as I wanted you to? Because that was my goal in sharing it.
Yes, and I think that Dwyer throws out, of course, he's a soulless ginger. That
It's
might
a great
have something
point
to do with it.
That's something that unfortunately, tragically, is lost on our audio audience. That not only does this guy juggle while he's jogging, but he is a ginger. And also, we did just see him drop one. And what did Dwyer Christian say? He dries up every pussy.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah. But I want to show you this one guy who he's never seen anything like
Never
it.
seen anybody jogging
Not
juggle.
this guy.
Proof that
The next
trying
guy.
something new
That takes a whole different level of core strength, balance, and everything.
doesn't mean you need to hide until it works.
Puts me in touch with people just out and about in the world. Morning.
So do you think he should be getting in touch with people out in the world? Is that
whatever? Fucking show off.
Well,
stay in the house and juggle.
No matter how much you hated him, I think we find here some people whose disrespect for someone else's property you will probably hate more.
Up at around 4 o'clock in the morning from all of the notifications we were getting from the camera outside the door.
So this is a Verbo, which is like Airbnb. They rented out their house in known party town, Sheboygan, Wisconsin. And this woman wakes up to a flurry of like Ring doorbell alerts.
Drinks in hand, stumbling and slurring their words.
Why are you in the streets?
The sink was clogged with pizza and things that they might have had at dinner time.
And they left the water running for hours.
640 gallons of water.
You can see in the camera footage the two men throwing towels, bedding, and rugs down the stairs, all soaked. And later devising a plan for how to cover it all up.
Listen to their plan.
Get this, we can say we woke up to it.
It's so frustrating.
So the reason why I showed this is only because we have the video footage of them saying like, well, we're going to put these down and we'll just say we woke up to it. I don't know. I don't have a second home that I rent out for money because I'm not a poor. But if anyone in the chat has a second home that they rent out for money, let us know. But I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to put a camera in there. But then case in point, I guess maybe you can put it in the common areas. But what do you think about somebody who rents a house and decides it's their excuse to trash it, despite the fact that they have to put down a huge deposit on a credit card to do it, Eric?
I'll tell you this. I don't like the idea of having one of these houses because of this happening.
Sure.
I don't like the idea of utilizing a Airbnb or a Vrbo because of the cameras. Yeah. There's so much wrong with this started out as a great idea. Do you remember when this was actually good? And you could actually save money when you rented out one of these places. Now it's like you're better off getting a hotel and getting the bed bugs than you are utilizing one of these nowadays, it seems.
Yeah, well, I think the best laid plans are ones that are not said in front of a recording device. So I hope that these guys, are charged with whatever she said, like 650 gallons of water.
Why was she in an area with like no sink? Is that
because it's that house after these guys?
So they fucked up all that shit?
Yes, they fucked up all that shit. Yeah.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, on that happy note, let's do a quick drive-by, pun intended, on celebrities.
WATD, who are these celebrity news? Who are these celebrity news?
Are you like 21 years old in that picture?
Do you look 21 years old?
Yes, you do. You look like you're 21 years old in that picture.
Well, it's part of our youth outreach. Our demographic is skewing way too high. So we're going to start doing this show in 30-second segments on TikTok exclusively. We'll give you the details on that soon. Don't worry. But this is a fairly quick clip here, but I think it's a great illustration as to how pretty much nothing's going right for Justin Timberlake right now. This is right after his hearing for driving while intoxicated. And you can tell part of any kind of plea deal, he needs to make a statement, but the venue, the environment doesn't make it easy for him. Give a listen.
Try to hold myself to a very high standard for myself. And this was not that. This was not that. I found myself in a position where I could have made a different decision.
There's an airplane going overhead.
But I've had some time to reflect on that.
Talk through it, JT.
And I also understand by
There's a truck.
The fact that all of you are here, that I have a platform, you have a platform.
Oh, shit.
We share that platform. And so what I'd like to say to everyone watching and listening, even if you've had one drink,
oh, come on,
don't get behind the wheel of a car.
I think we all knew that already.
Yeah,
so many alternatives.
Quit it. Just shut the fuck up and go home.
Call a friend.
Sounded like a gunshot there.
Take an Uber. There's many
Another
travel
fucking
apps.
truck.
Still, take a taxi. This is a mistake that I made, but I'm hoping
Please back up
that
sound.
whoever's watching and listening right now can learn from this mistake.
Okay, so if I gave you that clip and it was clean and he just made his statement and I said, hey, Easy, can you drop in some outside noises to make it seem like it's very distracting? Would you have put that many in there because
no,
yeah.
You know, this is the equivalent of when, like that scene in The Naked Gun, when you know, Nordberg was they ran over him with every piece of heavy equipment in the street. They just kept coming.
It's just it's kind of like 2 or 3 too many. I agree with you. So it's hard to believe. Semi-related to celebrities, of course, filled with celebrities. Let's head over to award shows briefly.
Who are these award shows? Who are these award shows?
Love that.
Yeah, that's one we haven't had a chance to play yet. You know, it's reminding me that last year when we covered the Emmy Awards, we had a lot of clips because that guy Joe Coy did the monologue and everybody hated him.
That was Taylor Swift. Remember Taylor Swift? That look she gave him?
Yeah.
He hasn't been seen since. He's dead. Joe Coy. I forgot about him.
Yeah, this year Eugene Levy and his son Dan hosted, and people like them because they're in the club. So I literally only have one clip from the entire Emmy Awards, which I'm sure you knew happened on Sunday, and you were on the edge of your seat watching to figure out if the Bear won and whether or not the Bear is a comedy, which apparently it's not. But here's I have 2 clips from John Oliver. And the first is a gaffe that I think a parent can relate to, but probably only a parent can appreciate the pain in this.
Thank my wife, Kate, and our kids' husband. Hudson. His name is Hudson. Ouch. Ouch. That's going to come back to haunt me. And Marzi, I should have got his wrong as well to even it out, but I
didn't. Yeah. So, all right. So that's not huge. If that was the only thing that happened in this acceptance, I wouldn't have pulled it. But it's funny that he calls his kid husband. That's I don't know how old his kids are, but there's probably extra therapy required for your dad calling you husband on national TV. Yeah.
I don't know about you, but I think he's hilarious. Do you like John Oliver?
I do, but honestly, like I find like there's a video of, I think it was like a bonus show that he did where he he went deep on Chuck E. Cheese. I love that video. I think it's hit or miss on the topic.
I agree with you.
I found him very funny on the Daily Show, but I don't know if I want to spend a half an hour on some of the topics. What were you going to say?
Yeah, no, I was going to agree with you because sometimes you're right. It's a topic that it doesn't really appeal to me. Yeah. And then it seems like he's really going hard on it. I'm like, this kind of sucks. So I think it depends on that. But I think his delivery on most things, I really find the way he presents to be funny for some reason.
Yeah, and you know, he moved here obviously from the UK and has lived in New York for some time and chose to be a Mets fan. So I like him for that reason alone. Later in his acceptance speech, there is a moment that at least in this town people were talking about. As his speech starts to wind down, they start to play him off, which we've seen that happen before, but it happens in kind of an unfortunate way.
He's going to be very silly, our dog. We had the most fantastic dog, and she was at our wedding, and she got us through a pandemic. She was with us for the 2 pregnancies, and perfect choice of music. We had to say goodbye to her, and fuck you, there you go. It is, I feel like Sarah McLachlan right now. She was an amazing dog, and ouch. I would guess I want to. This isn't just for her. This is for all dogs. All dogs. You're all very good girls. You're very good boys. You all deserve a treat. Play me off now.
So yeah, now he wants to be played off, and whoever stopped playing him off, good for them for real life, like reading the room. Like, all right, this is clearly
Jesus
not
Christ.
going the way we thought. By the way, that clip was making the rounds on Twitter. It was the censored ABC version. Again, I will chastise fellow broadcasters and content creators. It is very easy to find uncensored clips because when shows like this get shown overseas, they don't have it on the delay. They just air it because, like, in Australia, they're not as uptight as we are. So just do your homework and actually
don't tell them that. No, don't tell them that because it's ours. Fuck those guys.
That's right. Keep playing the lazy clips. You're right. Absolutely. Keep playing the poor clips, as it were. Anyway, that was really the main moment from the Emmy Awards. Everybody else seemed happy with everything else. You might be surprised, Eric, but some people made speeches about things that are important to them. And there might have been some talk about how this election is important. I don't have any of that. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's okay because you could probably write them yourselves. So.
Okay. All right. Well, you and I tend to shy away from political topics.
That's right.
In this show.
I mean, why would we want to alienate half of our audience, or in the case of this show,
My God. By the way, there was a fun Twitter exchange
that you and I were both part of. Yeah, we can spend a minute
later.
on it. Let me see if I can find it, but
we don't have to. It was just Christian was in a battle and he was trying to explain something to a retard. Yeah, and I was like, "Fuck this! Let me take over." And then
I was kind of hoping you would do that. You know,
this idiot. Oh my God, what an asshole! We were in a fight because all the jokes we crack. We don't give a fuck who we crack the jokes about when it comes to politics. But all you have to do is make it uneven. Like if it's 10-9 in the jokes on one side or the other, someone gets butthurt. And this childlike twat was going after Christian. Oh, it's not fair. Oh my God, I'm so hurt.
I gave him what I thought was a fairly simple and sane explanation. That it's like, you didn't fact check Kamala talking about the both sides, and I was like, yeah, it wasn't funny when she did it. Yeah, it was like, show me the thing that's funny. So the easy part of the exchange is probably what our audience might enjoy. So there's Benjamin Cohen. Look at this. He's on the show now. It's ironic that Christian and Eric did not make fun of Kamala Harris when reviewing the debate. David Muir and other one let Kamala run wild with her lies too. We only concerned with cracking jokes. Quit being a bitch. That's fine. And then he's like, make fun of your queen. Okay. Kamala is cackling hag like you. Great comeback. And Eric says, is that a good enough insult on Kamala? I mean, I know you're super sensitive, or do I need to keep going? I want to make sure not to be unfair. I don't believe we heard from him again, but now you're making me realize that I should probably post this on Twitter, like clip this out. So what I had said to him was, were her lies funny? Even a little, because what was hysterical was they're eating the dogs and executing babies, not to mention getting his panties in a bunch over rallies. Comedy doesn't fact check. Comedy doesn't offer equal time. Comedy doesn't care about your feelings. And it was like, what the fuck is Project 2025? Does David Muir understand sarcasm? It's there if you want it. And so I had walked away from the knife fight, and Easy just went up to him with a 2x4, like the one he used to break his door.
I even went ahead and said, all right, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to agree with it. I went to all of his previous political posts on his profile. Yeah. And I hit reply and I wrote, yeah, that's right. Get her. Fuck that bitch. And then went to the next one. Oh yeah. What a whore. Fuck Kamala, that stupid bitch. She can suck my dick. And I just kept going on. I was sitting on a toilet in a rest stop fucking doing that, man.
I had no idea that you did that. That's a fun response in the early days of Twitter, when it was more Wild West. My friend, the late Andrew Breitbart, he used to retweet every single bad, awful, vile tweet that someone said, because he's like, no, we should shine a light on how like these people feel like it's okay to say these things. And I was like, man, your skin is way thicker than mine, but it always made me laugh, because it would just be like, they're usually not creative. The insulting tweets is really what I'm getting at. But good for you, Benjamin Cohen. You made it to the show. I'm sure he tuned back in this week, right? I'm sure he's watching right now.
What a fucking infantile little asshole. Shut up.
Speaking of infantile little assholes, we edited that out of the show last week. No one can see the infantile little asshole that you put right up to the camera. That's gone, much to the chagrin of the great Lucy Tightbox. Hey, it's been a minute. Let's head over to Who Are These Sportscasters?
Home of the hourly triple play.
W-A-T-B, who are these sportscasters? Just listen and find out who are these sportscasters?
Mental note that Doug in the jingles department, I think I started writing an email to him saying, hey, we need a new jingle for sportscasters. And then I never sent it. So we've still got that one. I like that one. It takes me back to a simpler time. Well, yeah. In sports, I want to start off with something that was big news here locally in Los Angeles. Were huge crowds before a Dodger game, hours before the game started. You have a little bit of a glimpse of the parking lot for a 7 o'clock game started filling up around noon. Do you want to guess what people wanted out there in the parking lot at Dodger Stadium, Eric?
Some type of artwork, hentai, anime, something. I don't know.
Well, that's a good guess considering this town, and you're not entirely far off. But huge crowds in the Dodger Stadium parking lot triggers me a little bit because it takes me back to December 2020 when thousands of us would be lined up in a car so we could get a COVID test before we could try and see our family.
Days. I love COVID so much.
Yeah, well, the COVID part was fine. The waiting hours for somebody to stick a Q-tip up my and my kids' noses was not the bad. We couldn't get out of the car. Memories. But this was an even stupider reason to stand out there all day.
It was unlike anything we had ever seen before at Dodger Stadium.
Okay.
Tens of thousands of people standing in long serpentine lines through every parking lot at the Ravine.
Wow. I just want to show that off, and our video audience now knows what it was for, but this is the part that's reminiscent of the long, like 4 lines of cars that we would have trying to get COVID tests. So yes, people are all lined up
just for a chance to get the new Shohei Ohtani bobblehead.
And
dog with him?
Yeah, he's holding his dog. Well, this is before that story broke, but it's entirely possible that that's why the one with the dog is so rare, because it's pre-consumption, as it were.
Okay.
And maybe even the fabled golden Ohtani.
Oh,
I mean, what's the longest you've ever waited at an event for a giveaway? Because I've done a couple. I want to make sure I get it. Usually it's to give it to my kids or something. But would you go 7 hours before a game so you could get a golden Shohei Ohtani holding his dog?
You mentioned COVID. I wouldn't go 7 hours to get a COVID shot if it meant I was going to live or die.
Yeah.
I mean, if it was okay, if you don't get this, it's a good chance you're going to die. Well, you got to wait 7 hours. Say, fuck it. I'm rolling the dice. I'm not waiting. I'm not doing that. I hate waiting for shit in line.
Well, history would probably show that that's probably the right decision there. He's not waiting in that line. So that piece continues. They interview a bunch of people. And I think that this bystander obviously contributed a lot to the story. It made you absolutely understand why it was so important to get this Ohtani bobblehead.
I get the Ohtani.
You want the Ohtani bobblehead?
Yes.
Because of the little dog?
No, just the Ohtani.
Do you collect bobbleheads?
I want to.
So you want to start with him?
Yeah.
Wow, is something wrong with her? She looks like either too much oxygen at birth, or her eyes are so far. She looks like a fucking Guarmy.
I do believe that they might have stretched out the bottom portion of her face.
Oh my God, that's an alien. There's no way that she's drinking coffee in the back room like the guys on Men in Black. I mean, come on. Did you see her?
I did. Yeah. Believe me, I saw her. Well, I hope everybody appreciated that. Easy, you and I have been doing this a little bit over a year, and some wild things have happened during that time. But in general, we show up, we have fun, say goodbye. I'll see you the next week. But viewers of a recent Yankee game at Wrigley Field learned that not everybody gets along as some of the great duos. Me and Eric Zane, Carl and producer Chris, John Melendez and Clay Dabler, John Melendez and Quadfather. Not every duo is created equal, as we find with John Flaherty and Michael Kay.
Neighborhood.
Yeah, and you weren't very talkative on the bus this morning to the field, but as I was driving here, I was thinking it'd be great to get a place that's close. You can walk back and forth. I know you mentioned Don Zimmer living out in the apartments out in center field, but I just had a lot of time to think on the team bus today because it was just very quiet.
So you'd rather me be chatty? I wasn't feeling great.
I haven't seen you in a long time, right? You don't work road trips anymore when I'm on the road. So I thought we would catch up, but it quickly was evident that you weren't in the mood. So I gathered my thoughts about how it would be nice to live close to Wrigley, walk back and forth to the park.
Interesting narrative that you're putting together.
So at this point, they should have probably both hit their cough buttons and be like, let's move on. Let's talk about this later. Okay, we should be done here.
Okay.
But that's not what happened.
Because I've been told by executives that you prefer to work with Ruocco. That's why you two guys are matched up all the time. I mean, that's just what I heard. I don't know if there's any truth to it.
I just put it together that the road trips you don't want to go on, that I end up working with Ryan Ruocco because we're willing to work the games on the road.
Ground ball to short. Swanson.
It is the best part of baseball play-by-play, though, is that even when you're having this really gay, awkward
Where's that one
interaction-
guy who every time someone dies, he hits a home run?
Yeah. Nick Castellanos.
Yes, bring that guy in.
Yeah, well, that would have been
Jesus
great if he had been in this game and hit a home run. And it's like, and I hate you, and that's a deep fly from Castellanos, and now the Phillies lead at 8-0.
Well,
but
when this conversation started, when just Flaherty was talking, I was like, oh, he's just being cheeky, no big deal. But then as Kay started talking more, he's really talking some X's and O's behind the scenes shit that has. This is 100% real.
Yeah, when he gets into it's funny because management tells me that you want to work with the other guy. And he's like, no. The other guy is the only one who wants to work the road games. So we're not done yet.
Listen, John, I don't make out my schedule. I go where I'm told.
Just a little footnote to that. Michael Kay has been the TV voice of the Yankees since they've been on their own network. Yes, he had done radio prior to that. So he's been with the Yankee organization for more than 25 years. I'm pretty sure he gets a little bit of a say in his schedule.
I bet. I bet.
Yeah. I feel like that's a little disingenuous. Long pause. Do you think that now maybe they've hit the cough button and they're like trying to figure out a way to get out of this? Or are they just sitting there in silence? I'm not sure which one. I enjoy the silence and the mics are open and they're just not talking.
I'll be very chatty tomorrow.
No, I just want to make sure that you're okay. I was a little worried about you.
I think you were worried that I wouldn't be talking much on the
broadcast. All right. God. So this New York being New York, this story had legs, and I don't believe it made the back page of the New York Post, but they certainly had an article on it. So let's fast forward to the next day.
Very small booth, John, and the original plan today was to have Meredith sit between us because from what we read, we really hate each other. So.
Well, I just want to make sure we're okay because I felt like yesterday we got along just like we always get along. But after the game, I heard we don't like each other. So are we all right?
I love you. We're great.
Well, I don't know if I'm going to go love, but I really like you a lot.
There we go. Now.
I do like that he's like, well, I mean, all right, we're men. No, I don't love you.
I know,
work with
really.
You. And I thought that was telling that Flaherty says, well, I think we got along the way we always get along. Well, that's probably why they don't have the two of you work together very often then. If I had to guess, that's probably what it is.
Now it's going to be written again.
It's already starting. Guys, you would not believe the chatter in the clubhouse today about the two of you.
Did you notice where she has to sit, though? So, by the way, Dwyer Christian says, skip to the angry anal sex. Michael Kay is a bit of a germphobe, I believe. So I feel like that is probably not the way he enjoys it. But, maybe the giving.
Which one is which?
So Michael Kay is on our right, and that's John Flaherty, a former player, but he's been a broadcaster. He's sort of like, he's down on the depth chart because they have like David Cohn, they have Al Leiter, they have Paul O'Neill. So they have other guys. So it is a little bit down the list when you're getting to John Flaherty. What were you going to say?
Okay. All right, yeah. So then she's above them with who's that fucking idiot next to her? Is he's producer?
Well, I don't know. He's probably just the producer, some schmuck like me. And I don't know if you've ever been to a broadcast booth in Wrigley, but they are exceptionally small. Name drop. I went with my then boss Dennis Miller to say hi to the great Bob Uecker, and we squeezed into one of those booths.
So you walked into the booth to say hi to Uecker with Dennis Miller.
Yep. And Dennis had a sport coat on, and he had gotten ice cream on it. And Uecker is on. He's like, all right. And after 4 innings, it's 2-0 Brewers on the Brewer Radio Network. Jesus Christ, did I bird shit on you? Like, he knew the second that they went to commercial, but he looks at Dennis and it was just, that was the tone of it. A national treasure, Bob Uecker. Everything you want him to be. I love Bob Uecker. I did not plan to tell that story, but super chats are light. I gotta try to dress it up. Although I do see
the
we
way,
got one
a
from
couple
Dame
people,
Taft.
Dame Taft says, I like when you show clips of broads that get Zane all horned up. More of that, please. Yeah, horned up is relative. Remember, my cock's broke.
That's true. It is. I showed that chick outside of the Ohtani giveaway. I don't know. I thought that was going to do something.
Rumpled trench coat at Columbo Podcast, $5. The 2 sportscasters arguing remind me of the no parking in the white line zone scene in Airplane. That was a great scene. Absolutely.
Don't give me your red zone shit. You're the one who told me to have an abortion. Yeah, 100% I agree.
Also, Dame Taft, thank you. Says, Christian, may I call you Mini Denny? Good, thanks. Sup, Zane?
Whatever Dame Taft would like to call us. I want to close the book on the Yankees fracas here, though. So we need to see our broadcasters, though. So if you can remove Dame Taft.
Oh, sorry.
Screen,
Yep.
Right.
Are you serious?
A lot of people wanted to know, was it real?
Love each other.
Look at that.
Love each other.
I mean, John and I go back and forth like that all the time.
All the time.
All the time. We always hate each other every day.
Runner was going on the 3-2, and that'll do it.
Let's shake on it.
Now let's really hug it out.
It's so nice to be.
So that's the end of the story, right? Obviously, they do really love each other, and it was just a weird day.
I think that was a bad move on their part. They should have if they were kidding. The next day they talk about it in online papers or whatever. Keep it going. God damn it. That's how you get more people to pay attention. Is people love that shit. It's called a work, you fucking idiot. God damn it.
Well, also in the broadcast booth, this happened 2 Sundays ago. Tom Brady made his broadcasting debut for Fox, and it is a largely visual clip, but it does sum up kind of how that first broadcast went, or at least the first quarter of it.
Herrera. Hi, Mike. It's good to have you back.
Oh, don't leave me hanging. So good to be back with you guys. It's just great to be here in Cleveland.
So Brady goes for the fist bump, and obviously Brady might be the greatest of all time in terms of quarterbacks, but in terms of a dude you want a fist bump, I guess not.
It's good to have you back. Oh, don't leave me hanging.
So good to be back with you guys. It's just great to be here in Cleveland.
We love you, Mike.
Sounds like he hates it.
Yeah.
He hates his life. That's Pereira. Is that right?
Yeah, that's Pereira. Yeah. He's just like, I'm in Cleveland. How happy am I supposed to be? All right.
He seemed like he hated his life there. My God. I mean, that was disrespectful. It was clear he hates Brady. He hates Cleveland. He probably hates America. Fuck that guy. Who hates Tom Brady?
I guess that guy.
Tom Brady.
Well, Giselle, probably, if I had to guess, but Bridget Moynihan, after ex-wives though, who could possibly hate him? So I don't know who hosts the Red Zone channel that, they jump around all the games. It used to be Andrew Siciliano. I don't know who the new host is, but he commented on something and he actually had to apologize for what he has to say here.
Easy. Yeah, well, they got to cover.
So they jump to a clip that is from this Browns-Cowboys game. And you hear Kevin Burkhardt as the first voice. And then the second voice, they got to cover. That's Brady.
It's crazy. Yeah, well, they got to cover. If it doesn't go in,
This is a 71-yard attempt. And now the Browns will call a timeout.
Maybe everyone's going to rethink this one.
71 yards.
Go to the Jets now. Oh, come on. Brady's got to get more excited than that in the booth. This is going to be.
Yeah, 100%. They're possibly going for a 71-yard field goal. And he's like, oh, yeah, that sure is something. All right. So just pretend that you care. And anyway, you had to apologize for criticizing Tom Brady.
He did? He had to go. He had to come out and apologize?
Yeah, he did.
Hey, let me ask you this while I talk to you. From my end, it looks like my video is frozen.
It is, yes.
Are you seeing that?
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to back out real quick if that's okay.
That's fine. Absolutely.
And then I'm going to I'll come back in.
Yeah, no, we appreciate
stand
that.
by.
And we've had all three of our super chats for the day. Right now, it's really a toss-up between Dame Taft and Rumple Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast. One of those is going to be my sign-off, and it's fine if somebody swoops in with $5.01 in the near future, then you will be the front runner, as it were. But for right now, I may be signing off with one of the ones we already showed, and that's fine. That's where
we're gonna be rolling in the dough as soon as I think we have a special guest that's on the horizon. And
that's true.
that's going to draw in some serious cash.
That's true. You know what? We've done almost an hour, and we haven't really talked about politics, and that's why I think that the super chats dried up. I think that's when they really want to give us money.
Because we
tell one of us what an idiot they are.
Exactly. They get so frustrated or happy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, the key to a happy life is to discuss politics at all times.
Yes, exactly.
In my opinion.
Well, I've got one more sports clip for us here. Even the most casual fans of college football understand that early in the schedule, your big powerhouse schools, they'll throw a bunch of cash at a pushover that they'll embarrass on national television, but just to make themselves look good. So this was the case a couple weeks ago when Notre Dame hosted Northern Illinois University, who they gave $1.4 million for the privilege of getting their ass kicked on national TV. And sometimes, as they say, fate has other plans. This is the NIU broadcast of the end of the game, which this isn't as much about Notre Dame being a franchise that most people can get behind hating. And it's about the broadcaster for NIU having a moment.
It up. 5 seconds left. NIU up 16-14. 62-yarder. Snap, hold, Jeter's kick. It's blocked! It's blocked! It's blocked! Picked up by NIU! Picked up by NIU! The Huskies have done it! The Huskies with the biggest upset in NIU history! They come to South Bend, Indiana, and they knock off the number 5 team in the country. NIU 16, Notre Dame 14. The football gods were shining down on NIU.
I love that call. I didn't watch a second of this game when it happened.
No.
But I heard that and I'm like, you know what? Good for that guy. There was no expectation that.
Yes.
He was gonna be able to do that.
I mean, being that I was listening and watching the game years ago, Michigan lost to Appalachian State in a similar ending to a game. Michigan was very highly ranked at the time. And whenever the local, I end up rooting for the small town schools when this happens. It's just fantastic. Even though I'm in Michigan, for God's sake, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. What is this? A fucking David and Goliath story. And you get a lot of times you'll have like young broadcasters in these small schools like that. Like NIU is a small town, whatever. And so you're going to get a lot of these greenhorns that are doing the broadcast. And you're absolutely right. Whenever they lose their shit, it's always awesome.
I love that. Rumple Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, putting my thumb on the scale. It's an individual super chat. So your $5 doesn't compound your prior $5.
Wow.
And our buddy Dust Cloud already comes in. What I miss most about Chavez Ravine is that I wasn't part of the mass deportation. Do you understand the backstory? So
I don't know what that means.
Quick geography lesson. Where Dodger Stadium is in Los Angeles, it is called Chavez Ravine. And it was a part of the city that was underprivileged housing, affordable housing. It was filled with Mexicans who were dragged out of their homes because of eminent domain. There are photos. I don't know if there's video, but you can see it. So that is the reason why for the first 25 years, Mexicans hated the Los Angeles Dodgers.
Oh my God.
And then Fernando Mania happens in 1981. And then they're like, oh, look, a fat guy can be an all-star. All right, I guess. And that's literally the moment where they were like, all right, I guess we can enjoy the Dodgers.
That was Fernando Valenzuela, right?
That is indeed Fernando Valenzuela.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that. I didn't even know anything about that.
I didn't know that until I moved here. So a little fun lesson. If you want more lessons like that, give us some more super chats. Or if you want less, we can go ahead and do that. Oh my gosh, Greg Williams, $10.01. Life is short, so contribute to the goal before you die. Leave us in your will. Rumble Rant, Super Chat, StreamYard, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. Thank you, Greg Williams. You understand
that guy with all the money? That's that guy who's loaded, right?
Greg Williams or Steel Toe?
Or am I getting that mixed up with someone else?
You're mixing him up with David Chandler. Yeah.
Okay, that's the guy. Okay, well, Greg is still loaded too.
I'm just going to say that apparently David Chandler doesn't know when this show's on because he's never visited us. The goal, boys, the goal. Thank you, Dame Taft. All right. So, as I was saying earlier, and now we've officially started the stream more than an hour ago, we've essentially gone the whole time without politics. And I'm not going to lie, after last week, I had the thought of like, maybe we do a week without politics. But then this week got crazy. So.
Who are these politics? Who are these politics?
And when crazy shit happens, we always have to bring in our WATB crazy shit correspondent, the great Reverend Shitstain, who, as always, is sharing cats videos. I hope that those cats are still alive, that they didn't wander onto a rotisserie spit somewhere.
Or not at John's house. Yes. Hello, gentlemen. I'm ready to discuss stupid shit happening in the world.
So there was a person, a suspect on the golf course at, I believe that course is called Trump International. Affectionately, we refer to it as Mar-a-Lago. And he was hiding in a tree, in a bird's nest. I don't know where he was for like 12 hours. But he was there for 12 hours, right?
He crawled into some shrubbery, and the sheriff confirmed that the compound was not completely guarded or protected, and he could literally just walk into the shrubs and then be completely out of sight, according to the sheriff and Secret Service. And he was laying down in a prone position with armor set up, protecting him, and a camera with a scoped rifle, laying down, waiting for Trump to arrive.
Wow. Right. And my understanding is that when Trump became president in 2017, they told him, your golf course isn't safe. You really shouldn't play there because people can wander into this one spot. And that's what I read.
Well, at the time, the sheriff, and I don't mean to turn this into not a comedy show, but just to lay everything out.
It's not.
So we're all on the same
Don't worry,
page.
it's not. You're safe.
Yeah.
But the sheriff, what I think his name is like Rick something or other. He confirmed that at the time when Trump was president, there was security, police, and Secret Service every single inch, people walking through there. But because he's not, he had exactly what Secret Service should be providing him, which is apparently an opening to get sniped.
Yeah. By the way, I believe Lady Bird Johnson has a bigger detail, and she's been dead for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, all right. So the reason why the Reverend is here is because you know who this guy is.
Yes. So my internet autism and sleuthing that I enjoy doing, it's this fella right here.
And tell us his name. Sorry.
Ryan Wesley Ruth, currently 58 years old. He was in Ukraine 2 years ago trying to...
Now pause that for a second. Leave the picture up because I mentioned that I wanted to share this tweet from Anthony Cumia, who noticed that... what's his name? Ruth is his last name? R-O-U-T-H?
Yes, Ryan Wesley Ruth.
He resembles the Opster.
A little bit.
And he had a tweet later that said, wow, I knew Opie didn't like Trump, but this is crazy. And
push a man so far.
Yeah. And without saying his name, Jim Norton was kind of making some exactly references when they were talking about the guy. All right. So now you fucking home run, Norton. All right. So now you've shown who he is. And yes, I spoke over, but he spent some time in Ukraine not long ago, right?
Yes. So to give a full bit on his story, just to run it down as much as I can, the earliest appearances that he has in any form of media is, I believe, in 1991. He was 25 years old at the time. And when he stopped a rape that was happening in front of him, well, some woman just got violently raped, and he went out to go confront the guy, and he chased him down, beat him up or whatever. And he was lauded as Citizen of the Year by the International Police Union Association, and was given an award and a statue, and he was called a superhero. Then in 2001, he appeared in the media again when he barricaded himself inside of his business with a fully automatic machine gun after being caught by police officers speeding or whatever. And then he disappears for a long time. No one knows really what happened to him. And then he kind of shows back up on Twitter with all these, schizophrenic type schizobabble tweets where he's talking.
Let me jump in because you and I texted about it. So I had read that according to isolated tweets, he voted for Trump in 2016, Biden in 2020. He liked Nikki Haley and Vivek Ramaswamy, which, as I texted you, that is obviously the testament to the fact that the guy's absolutely nuts. He wanted even for one day, he wanted Vivek Ramaswamy, Nikki Haley to be a ticket, a national ticket for any party.
He did 5 days later after making those tweets supporting them, then trash them and say that they were casual and not really good politicians or anything. So that is kind of being put out there as bait to say, oh, he's a Republican. The Republicans are all crazy. No Democrat would ever do this. But you look at his donation records. He has a shitload of years-long donations to Act Blue, which is a Democrat PAC, which distributes funds out to multiple candidates and races and stuff like that. Whatever.
And you have an auto renewal donation every month to Act Blue, Reverend.
Oh, of course. And then he also has a Biden-Harris 2024 sticker on his truck at his Hawaii home, which, funny enough, it's painted blue and didn't burn down.
It's like how there weren't any hot dog vendors on the street the morning of 9/11.
Well, he disappeared. He disappeared for a time from 2001 to 2000.
The thing that I want to get to with this guy is that he's known. And obviously, he's batshit. People know who he is, and I wasn't expecting there to be sort of this narrative of like, okay, this is the guy, and guys like you and our buddy JJ also messaged me. He's like, oh yeah, we know who this guy is.
Yeah, so it's very easy to look up if you've got any kind of, like I said, internet autism and sleuthing skills. I spent a lot of time on 4chan's poll when news breaks, because that's where a lot of people like me, terminally on time or online motherfuckers like to gather news and what's going on in the world. And so, everybody was looking up his name, looking up information on him. We found those news stories. We found he's got a lot of pictures of him in Ukraine. He was not officially working with the International Ukrainian Legion. According to the Ukrainian government, what he was doing, he was there acting as a hirer for a mercenary organization called Civilian Shield. Civilian Shield is run by some man named Thomas M. Rader, who has no information on him besides some junk phone numbers, supposed birth date, an email address that leads nowhere, and somebody that's listed on the bar as his name, and a house that ends somewhere in Washington, D.C.
What'd you say his name was? Thomas Rader?
Thomas Rader. Yes.
Yeah, well, we can guess what his favorite NFL team is. Thank you. I interrupted you for the worst joke I've ever told.
Fuck you.
Yep, I did that for you, Easy. I wanted to keep you awake. Your hate keeps you awake. All right, so you've got all this background. So if you had to put a theory together, and again, this is Reverend Shitstain's opinion, what motivated him on that day? And some people were asking, how did he know Trump was playing golf? I feel like if you check his schedule and he doesn't have a rally somewhere, he's probably playing golf.
Well, NBC News did put out the day prior what his golf schedule was going to be, when he was going to be golfing, where he was going to be golfing. Or actually, I think it might have been the day of, but who knows? That might just have been, them putting it out there for somebody else or whatever. My personal theory is that this is a dude who got caught up in some shit in 2001 and wherever else. He disappeared for a time. He was probably... you can look at his manifesto. I ripped his manifesto. Nobody else seems to have it for whatever reason. He posted it up on Amazon.
I'll share it with EZ because I know he likes a good manifesto.
It's 290 some pages of schizo babble.
Well, by the way, while you're talking, I'm going to play it on mute, but this is the body cam footage of him being arrested. So that's what it is, just for our visual audience. But I'm going to show it just because there's, they make him get out of the car, do the perp walk and all that. But you can keep talking. I just wanted to have this visual.
Well, I'd love to keep talking if you would stop.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. But so he disappeared for a time. What I'm thinking is this is a guy who's a true believer in American, imperialism, NATO imperialism, Western democracy being spread through the world by arms. However else, he talks very heavily about how Yugoslavia needed. What Yugoslavia needed, some freedom, getting in there with some bombings on the Serbs. He talks about how he wants preeminent global thermonuclear war launched against Iran. Not Iran, sorry. He loves Iran. He wants it launched against Syria, Russia,
Who
China.
doesn't? What has Iran ever done that we should complain about?
He loves North Korea, too. But so this guy,
that guy knows how to make the trains run on time in North Korea.
He probably got picked up by some handler. You can see on his earliest social media posts, he has some CIA spook as his earliest follow on Twitter.
Nice.
Maybe it's just somebody like me who likes to follow schizo retards, and just
find
out where they're going. But
who is the chick that we showed over the course of 3 weeks? The crazy broad that you brought to us.
Oh, Gail Court-Schuler.
Gail Court-Schuler. So
I don't think Gail Court-Schuler would take a shot at the president. She's the empress of the earth already.
But it's the same. So Sam Bibley, sorry, but if this guy isn't smart enough to get away with being this unfunny, no, I think
I hope that's not directed at me.
I love Sam Bibley.
What the hell is that, Sam?
Yeah, I don't know how Zane got that on there. I'm a big Sam Bibley fan because he likes me now. He didn't used to, but don't talk about. So I wanted to kind of let you present all of that.
Yeah. Well, I didn't. I should run through it so I don't repeat myself for a third time. Anyway, he probably got picked up by a handler. Was brainwashed, MK Ultra, whatever. He probably just had somebody that was in there as, an informant or whatever, kind of feeding him like, hey, you should get really more extremist and whatever. And he probably just cracked after returning from Ukraine, his little mercenary expenditures and stuff like that. The Ukrainian government refused to take his Afghanis and Haitians and Hong Kongers that he imported over here through Civilian Shield. They were paying them $1,200 a month to come here through Civilian Shield. And then when he wanted to send them to Ukraine, and the Ukrainian government, according to the Ukrainian government, said, that's retarded. We don't want 1,000 Haitians and Afghanis and Hong Kongers here fighting for us randomly. Please go away.
Right.
And
so let me jump over to Zane. And as you're hearing all this, Zane, hey, this is a huge compliment. If I were you, Reverend, I would screenshot this and put it in my reel. JFK Headchunk says Alex Jones Jr. I could listen to Reverend Shitstain talk all day. Alex Jones, I'm good for 3, maybe 4 minutes. About the globalist initiative and the lizard people.
It's really just hard to understand. Ruth was obviously an agent of the government. Okay.
So, Zane, the Reverend's been with us for a few minutes talking about this. What were your thoughts about the guy who was determined to shoot Trump before that? And has it changed at all since the Reverend has spoken to you?
No, not at all. Are you kidding me? I can't let just some crazy guy who rambles on from his mom's basement convince me one way or another about anything.
Yeah,
I'm at my own house.
Come on, whatever. Who gives a shit? This guy's
my mom
crazy.
Would let me
no
have
one
these
cares.
on the wall.
Yeah. Shut up.
Well, we love the Reverend, and he's gonna hang out with us. And
staying on this real quick.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you got one more,
I do.
I was gonna call it a bullet point. But I don't think that's in good taste.
To keep on the actual topic of the show, he did appear in a media reporting with broadcasters with the Zvezda news in Romania and Ukraine, where he's talking about hiring mercenaries and all that. And he also appeared in an Azov neo-Nazi recruitment.
Zane hosts a show for them. Yeah, we know that outlet.
I thought it might be interesting if I shared one clip of this guy.
Okay.
He got caught in, I believe this is March 1st, 2023, or very, very late February 2023. And I'm pulling it up right now. You'll have to give me just 1 second.
Yeah, I have to. I believe I'll have to
pull the rope around my neck while you.
No, you remember what happened the last time? You got carried away.
This is him. This is him getting caught by a prankster, a YouTube prankster named Jadion. He's on the campus of Harvard University canvassing for students that want to go fight for Ukraine for $1,200 as revolutionaries to destroy the whole fucking world system, man.
$1,200 sounds pretty good when I was in college.
I know, the guy.
Ukrainians have a right to fight back.
I don't do paper though.
I don't care if you do paper or not. I'm looking for revolutionaries.
I-
What number of people want to take this whole system down?
Bro, I'm a
Okay?
veteran. Like, do you need me?
What kind of veteran are you?
Bro, I served in Nuketown.
Well, I think it's better to serve and fight in the powers, fucking over the system.
Bro, give me a Glock and a Hellcat.
Take a look at this.
Bro, but I don't do paper though. I just told
Come
you
on,
that.
dude, then get away. We don't need people who aren't serious. If you're not serious,
I'm serious, but I don't do paper, bro. You're literally killing the environment.
we're moving on. You go ahead, have your lunch.
No, bro.
I do love that this guy doesn't do paper. Now,
So
now that's a clip for this show.
Absolutely.
No, I don't do paper, bro. You're killing the environment. I don't care about you. I want a Hellcat. I want to fuck shit up, but I can't take your paper. What were you going to say, Rev?
God, is that awesome?
Oh, I was just gonna say this guy just seems to show up everywhere, man. It's just fucking weird how he's fucking turning up, and then he went away peacefully without any kind of gunfight or nothing. I wouldn't be surprised if this dude gets Jack Ruby, but then I also wouldn't be surprised if this guy is like whatever his name is that tried to kill Reagan, and now he releases music on Spotify, and I think that's a podcast.
Oh,
Hinckley.
yeah.
Hinckley Jr.
John Hinckley Jr.
He's
Yeah,
on the internet.
His music's tremendous. His live gigs keep getting canceled because of
I wonder why.
Yeah, I don't quite know why. All right, so I appreciate the background on this guy. I did like it better when I thought he was OP, but now
That
we'll
would be
see.
amazing.
It would have been amazing. So now we need to move over to an issue that loomed over last week's show, eating dogs. And here's the governor of Ohio responding to a question from CBS News' Major Garrett.
Ask you a question like this. Is anyone with undocumented status in Ohio, is any legal citizen resident of Ohio eating dogs or cats illegally?
Well, Major, this is something that came up on the internet, and the internet can be quite crazy sometimes. And look, the mayor, Mayor Rue of Springfield says, no, there's no truth in that. They have no evidence of that at all. So I think we go with what the mayor says. He knows his city.
And that's, of course, old libcuck Governor Mike DeWine, who, by the way, is later in that interview says, oh, no, of course I'm still voting for Trump. He's a Republican nominee, which I understand that approach. But the old libcuck Mike DeWine. And before the Reverend jumps in, we have a different retraction from the guy who's responsible for the first meme that we actually didn't get to last week.
In the park, grabbing up ducks by their neck and cutting their head off and walking off with them.
Okay, so that's the clip inside the box. That's this guy who was talking about what he saw. And then somebody caught up with him. I think this is yesterday.
I ain't never seen no fucking cat and dog get ate in my life, and I never fucking said that. I said something about a goose, and somebody told me they see somebody grab a fucking goose up and cut his fucking head off, and that's what the fuck I said. But when you ask me, do I regret it? Hell yeah. And then we got to deal with motherfucking schools getting closed down. We got to deal with motherfucking all the government buildings getting closed down. We got to do interviews at the police station because weird shit is going on.
So somebody else had edited this clip. I wouldn't have done it so abruptly, but I like this guy more. He's more the speed of this show than Mike DeWine. And the mayor of Springfield, Ohio, has said that. And so, Reverend, are we supposed to use the source "Trust Me, Bro"? As Zane pointed out last week.
I will say what was going around in the news as was purported as a Haitian migrant was mistaken for a Haitian migrant because her community is flooded with Haitian migrants and Venezuelans. But no, it was a black woman from America named Alexis who was stomping on some man's cat that she catnapped and then was eating it in the street. And then there was a dude who did take a goose and was eating a goose.
In Columbus.
But he's from South Africa, so it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't count. All right.
So nothing happened.
But I did want to say, I did want to say the mayor of Springfield, Mayor Rue, he actually owns a company called Littleton and Rue not LLC, it's actually incorporated, where what Littleton and Rue does, they take migrants and rehouse them in rental properties and that they, pick up for a small change and then renovate. And so what Littleton and Rue has been doing is getting thousands and thousands of dollars per migrant that comes into Springfield from the federal government, they're living on your properties.
Nice,
Okay,
go
ahead,
they
nice
have are all
reflection.
slum properties.
All right.
Nice.
Hey, I'm just
nice,
saying that is a thing.
Nice
That is a
right
thing.
turn.
We've
Yeah.
got the authority on this story spoke with Dana Bash on CNN on Sunday. The great JD Vance.
Media totally ignored this stuff until Donald Trump and I started talking about cat memes. If I have to,
But it
if
wasn't
I have
just a
to
meme,
create stories so that the American media actually pays attention to the suffering of the American people, then that's what I'm going to do, Dana, because you guys are completely letting Kamala Harris coast. You had one interview with her. You talk about pushing back against me, Dana. You didn't push back against the fact that she cast the deciding vote on the Inflation Reduction Act, which is why a lot of Americans can't afford food and housing.
You just said
We
that
ought
you're
to be
creating
talking
a
about
story.
public policy.
Yeah.
Awkward.
Sir, you just said that you're creating the story.
What's that, Dana?
You just said that this is a story that you
Yes.
created. So the eating dogs and cats thing is not.
We are
accurate.
creating. We are. Dana, it comes from firsthand accounts from my constituents. I say that we're creating a story, meaning we're creating the American media focusing on it. I didn't create 20,000 illegal migrants coming into Springfield.
Yeah, but
Okay,
he
so
did.
there's a lot there. He's trying to. I don't know why he admitted it. He should have just fucking lied, but he comes clean there.
Well, that was what I don't get. And by the way, I every week I mean to say you have to give credit to JD Vance. He shows that he did like 4 of these interviews on Sunday, and they were mostly the same. This is the most entertaining because of 2 clips from now. But he shows up, he does it, and not everybody shows up for these kind of interviews where it's clearly stacked against them. He goes on here.
If we're going to take the firsthand accounts of people who are on the ground in Springfield, why don't you bring on some of the people on your program who say that the migrants are eating their pets? You're applying a double standard here. You're saying if one person accuses JD Vance, I'm going to take that person's word
somebody
as the
who's-
gospel truth,
you have somebody
even if
whose
you
name-
misrepresent it. If you have another person who's saying they're
Terrible
eating
with
the
the delay.
cats, you're going to completely ignore them, attack them, silence them, and harass them. That double standard is why
here comes the
people don't
point.
trust the media and why we're not talking about public policy 51 days out from a presidential election.
Okay, if you have somebody you want to tell us about who has proof that somebody ate their cat, of course we want to hear that. We certainly have had.
Yeah, we haven't had that yet, so send it our way. And then the final clip from this interview, and then I'll let the Reverend and Zane jump in. When the narrative is that you're not just weird, but also maybe not the party that is the most accepting and understanding of women's issues, this is probably not the best way to handle this.
Accused me of causing a bomb threat. Doesn't that mean you should shut up about the residents of Springfield?
Shouldn't you shut up, you mouthy broad? He could say everything he's saying, but you lend yourself to an advertisement by using the phrase "shut up." But go ahead, Reverend.
I would pay so much to go on CNN and just tell some bitch to shut the fuck up. You have no idea.
Well, I wish she was just a tad bit more aggressive on that first clip when he actually admitted to creating the story, because his point was, well, yeah, I created that story to draw attention to the
real
problems
story.
of Springfield.
Yeah, he's not very good at orating on the spot at all.
So
I wouldn't.
Where
have
does
picked
that
him.
leave us, though? I mean,
obviously he's not
that would mean that people like the good Reverend here would have to say, well, he just said he fabricated it, so.
No, I mean, you could
Right?
obviously politique around that and say, well, he's creating the impetus for the media to actually report on these news stories that are happening. Well, you could, of course, then say, well, he said creating it. And like I said, he's a very poor on-the-spot orator. He doesn't
So what's
pick
the
his
word?
words very
Yes, is there cats being eaten?
There
or-
are, but
There
the
are.
story,
There are
but the
cats being eaten.
stories were unfortunately flipped around right before the debate, and they, as it's been put out there as the media headline, took the bait.
Well,
And
I
they
would
should
have.
it was a South African and some woman from Springfield rather than Asian.
I would have stuck with the geese. It was like, going for the brass ring by talking about people's pets.
Now the dogs,
I know
yeah,
Zane's only got a few more minutes, and there's a couple things I want to make sure we get to. So before somebody showed up to his golf course to try to take him out, it was a completely normal day for President Trump, who took it upon himself to post I hate Taylor Swift. And he's not the only one. Because Megyn Kelly went on this rant on her show.
I'm allowed to criticize Taylor Swift, and I don't give a shit who gets upset. This is disgusting. If she wants to vote Harris Walz, she can do it all she wants. But to say the reason she's doing it is because of Tim Walz's stance on LGBTQ, F you, Taylor Swift, and F all of the people who want to see these children have body parts chopped off and watch them sterilized under the age of consent, and then will ride off to their multi-gazillion-dollar mansions, never to think of them again.
She's so
weird
fucking
that,
hot.
people
I don't
use-
care what she says. I don't care what the fuck she says ever.
How much you think that nose cost her?
I don't care.
More than the three of us will ever make in
What
our
a
lifetime.
babe.
Yeah.
I would eat the peanuts out of her shit. Oh my God, she's such a fucking babe.
Man,
Well-
Megyn Kelly's dude.
Yeah, and she's a bit of a handful, and if she didn't fail with her attempt to do a normal show on NBC, somebody online said that they haven't seen her this angry since she found out that blackface isn't okay. Because if you remember, that was why she lost her NBC show, was talking about for Halloween costumes. And yes, I'm generalizing. It's the internet. It's jokes. But Megyn Kelly isn't the person who's making news from the Megyn Kelly show. National Review founder Rich Lowry, whom I have talked to a number of times, great guy, always very nice to me when he was a guest on a show I produced. But I can't help but love this clip. I think we might play this a couple of times just to give it another listen. He's talking about migrants, Haitians.
Everybody
Because
misspeaks.
in that interview where Dana Bash says, the police have gone through 11 months of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking.
Whoa, sorry, what was that? Hang on there. Hang on, buddy. What was that? Sorry, Rich, go ahead.
Of recordings of calls, and they've only found 2 Springfield residents calling to complain about Haitian migrants taking geese from ponds. Only 2 calls. And I think one lesson in this whole story, people don't care about geese. People really hate geese.
Yeah, no one gives a shit what you're saying. No, you just said the N-word. Oh,
yeah.
I've got mine right here. Here he is.
Oh my goodness. I don't even know what that means, Reverend. So
I don't know what you're holding there.
That's my little friend.
What
is that, George Floyd? Oh, you sick fuck. Oh.
Squeezable.
Oh. You fucking dick.
Hey, what did we?
Send that to me,
Did
I'll
you
put it on
learn
the wall.
anything from last week that you're not supposed to show your asshole?
That's why I got this. That's why I got this. You've
Yeah.
just earned this every day. Every time we do the show, someone will get this award. And today it's Reverend Shitstain for his George Floyd puppet.
Well, to his credit, Rich Lowry did post after the fact, responding to somebody named Andy McCarthy saying, "This is exactly what happened. I began to mispronounce the word migrants and caught myself halfway through."
Oh, we know.
And then Deus MF Nice has a response to that, which I'm not going to read, but I just thought that he's trying to get out of it.
Your Honor.
Yeah, exactly. So I thought that was great. And look, I know people feel like this show is oftentimes way too one-sided, but Freudian slips happen on both sides. Shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips, who posted this in the Discord.
Trump not only have had the codes, but now having the classified information for Americans and being able to put that out and share it in his resort with anyone and everyone who comes through should be terrifying to all Americans, and he needs to be stopped.
Oh, whoops. I didn't see that clip.
Yeah, well, shout out to Carl's Frosted Tips, because I hadn't seen that either. I love that clip. I was like, he needs to be shot. Stop! Jesus! Oh, if only I had said it another day. Oh my God.
Oh Lordy, yeah, she's probably not going to be on TV for a few weeks.
It's going to
be fine. Come on, give me a break.
Well,
Wait,
all right.
MSNBC, who are we kidding?
I've got one more exchange that we have to get to, and President Trump loves when somebody loves him, and he brings a supporter on stage. And let's be honest, usually he doesn't know who he's talking about. And we'll see that on display right here.
Music superstar Nicki Jam. Do you know Nicki? She's hot. Where is Nicki? Where is Nicki? Thank you, Nicki. Great to be having you here.
Yep, she's
Now
hot.
you
Remember
have
he
to
just said that?
Oh, look.
What?
Do either of you guys agree that she's hot?
What is going on?
So this is a rapper named Nicki Jam who Trump misgendered as a woman.
He has no idea who this is. He has
no
idea what's happening.
Yeah, let's watch it again.
Having you here. Now you have to get. Oh, look. Come here. I'm glad he came up.
I'm glad he came up.
Yeah, I think
we have the best looking ladies in the world. They're the hottest.
I jerked off to him twice just this week, and just to put
punching him in the back there.
Just put a punctuation mark on this story and the clips for this episode. Reggaeton star Nicki Jam deletes endorsement after Donald Trump misgendered.
Wow.
So yeah,
what an asshole! Why? It was an honest mistake, right?
I mean, I guess, but I think in Nicki Jam's world, people know who Nicki Jam is, and when you call Nicki Jam a skirt, Nicki Jam doesn't have any time for it.
I guess not. Well, why did he come up all happy and shit? He should have not walked up.
Because he has an album to sell, easy.
Well, what a dick! What a fucking pussy Nicki Jam is. Fuck
That is a great point. Easy, I know you need to go. Do you have time for a quick Hall of Fame walk down memory lane? Because this happened.
Sure. I've got 3 minutes, 2.5 minutes.
This week in 1988.
Comes General Patton, General Abrams? No, Governor Dukakis. Riding to glory in every little kid's Rambo dream.
And they would say that one moment doesn't necessarily cost you an election. And let's be honest, I don't think he was going to win anyway. But yeah, the Dukakis in the tank, that was this week in 1988. And the election ended a little early in 1988, and George H.W. Bush won handily. You remember that, don't you, Zane? Him riding around in the tank?
I do. Dukakis in, was it Ferraro?
No, that was Mondale. He was a guy named Lloyd Benson.
Okay, I remember Benson.
Yeah, who had he had the line in the VP debate, "You sir know Jack Kennedy." But that's the only reason we remember him.
All I know of any of that is that I've seen him riding in a tank before.
Yeah, right. You're like, oh, that's the guy with the tank. No, he actually won for president. There's a great SNL sketch where John Lovitz plays him, and he turns to Dana Carvey as H.W. Bush, and he says, "Can't believe I'm losing to this guy." Well, Zane, I'm going to let you go. I'll tidy up the show, and the Reverend and I will sign off. But Zane, if people want more you, other than jumping on the Zoom call you're about to be on, where can they find you?
Best thing to do is just follow me on Twitch. All one word, Eric Zane Live. I do a show every day at 10 a.m. Eastern time. Well, maybe a little later than 10 a.m. Eastern time. It depends on how late of a start I get. Anyway, every day you can watch old shows. You can find it all right there. Twitch.tv/Eric Zane Live.
And how much is the goal for your show every day?
20 or 30 viewers at one time is the goal.
That's the only goal you need. That's why you like this show so much. Well, thank you, Eric Zane. We're going to let him go. And that is our show for this week. Thank you to the Reverend. We'll be back next Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Pacific. And Zane let you know where he can be found. My podcast, The Blackcast on YouTube, and wherever you find audio podcasts. Our most recent episode featured both Husey and Lucy Tightbox. I'm on X and Instagram at Christian DMZ. And also go to whoarethese.com. Look for the phone number, leave a voicemail. Reverend, you left a voicemail there once, and we eventually played it. So be like the Reverend. Leave a voicemail. Well, you re-recorded it and sent it to me, but I was pretending.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right. Because I didn't have time to ask Carl for it. So you're just like, I just recorded it again.
Hey, before we go.
Yeah,
can
no, I was going to
suggest-
give you a minute. I just wanted Zane literally had a heart out this week.
No. That's perfectly fine. I know he had to go. I was going to ask if you wanted to spend a few more minutes with clips. I wanted to see if you wanted to bring up a great moment in broadcasting history real quick.
Oh my gosh, I love great moments in broadcasting history because we did watch that one of Dukakis on the tank.
BTB, who are these broadcast history? Who are these broadcast history?
I love all the bumpers for the show. You really don't need to get rid of that Sportscasters one. That's really good in my opinion.
I mean, I like that one, but we'll get a new one from
Anyway,
Doug.
I posted that link in there if you want it. Also, I have a clip of from a couple hours ago of Hillary Clinton saying that Donald Trump supporters on the internet should be put in jail if you want to see that. But that's
okay. So what's the? Yeah, I see that you put something in YouTube.
That's the great moment in broadcasting history with Ernest Borgnine sharing the secret to old age on Fox News.
I love this clip. I actually saw it for the first time a few months ago. And I did one of those things where I emailed myself a reminder and completely forgot. This is a great moment in broadcasting history. You're getting a twofer this week. You got Dukakis in the tank, but the Reverend has brought us an amazing, just incredible clip that I will bring up in a moment. And here it is. I got to make sure I get it over here. And all right, everybody, let me know if you're hearing it. Oh, wait, I didn't bring it up.
You look fantastic. You look like you're in your late 60s, early 70s. What's the secret?
I don't dare tell you.
No meat. You don't eat meat.
I masturbate a lot.
Okay, I think. Thank you, Ernie. That was great.
I actually heard that.
Ernie, have you ever been on YouTube before that?
Yesterday.
What a champ.
I do love that. Yeah. So everybody heard that, right? Reverend, you heard it. Everybody
heard it. Everybody else seems to have heard it. Yes, Ernest Borgnine's secret, and there's books. People have written about it in their books on Hollywood and stuff. He would notoriously jerk off in every corner of every room of every house he would stay at, of friends, family, his own, and they were said to never shake Ernest Borgnine's right hand.
So Deuces the Dabbleverse. I think Reverend Shitstain Powerful Pooper is an awesome guest. Leave him alone. I have nothing to say other than good words. Reverend Shitstain, this is like the 6th time you've been on. If we didn't like having you on the show, you wouldn't be on the show. So I always enjoy having you, especially when Zane gets a little bee in his bonnet. That's probably the best part.
Well, I'm always in the chat yelling at Zane anyway.
Yeah, well, you have to do it with money, otherwise
I'm right, you're wrong.
Yeah, well, I think that's the narrative that we're in there. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's a fantastic one. And I think that we've given everybody extra show. They've got more show than they know what to do with. Woo-hoo. But I'm going to make sure that we didn't get any last minute $1,000 tweets, super chats. And no, we didn't. So thank you to Reverend Shitstain. Thank you to everybody who stuck with us. We hit the goal. We did it. Thank you, everybody. We'll do bonus content next week by doing a brand new show at 2 p.m. Eastern. But until next week, this is Christian Bladt reminding you that every mic is a hot mic and life is short. So contribute to the goal before you die. Leave us in your will. Rumble rants, super chats, memberships, gifted memberships, StreamYard, PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. See you next